Chosen one, let us be honest for a second. There is a reason you clicked on this video. It is because deep down, you are tired. You are tired of playing by the rules while watching everyone else cheat and win. You have been staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m. with tears running into your ears, asking God a question you are too afraid to ask in church. You are asking Him, why them? Why not me? Did I do something wrong? Unlock your mind right now and receive this truth. You did not do anything wrong. You did not fail. You were hidden. While they were taking shortcuts, you were passing a test so difficult that it would have broken them in half. The enemy wants you to think this silence is a punishment. But God woke you up to tell you it is not punishment. It is preparation. You passed the integrity test. And now the season of unfair suffering ends, and the season of divine favor begins. If you are hearing this voice right now, stop. Do not scroll. Do not click away. Do not move. Because what I am about to tell you is so specific, so personal, so precisely timed for this moment in your life that if you leave now, you will regret it for the rest of your week. God woke you up early today for this, or kept you up late tossing and turning. He redirected your thumb to this video. And there is a reason. God just showed me something about you. He showed me the test you have been walking through, not the one you tell people about. I am talking about the secret test, the one that happens when the rest of the house is asleep, and you are wondering if you have been forgotten. Before I reveal the exact nature of this test and the massive reward that is unlocked today, listen to me closely. You need to stay until the final second of this message. This is not just a video to make you feel better for 5 minutes. By the end of this transmission, I am going to hand you the coronation protocol. I am going to show you the 7 specific battles coming in the next 40 days and the exact weapon you need to win each one. If you click off halfway, you will walk into this season unarmed. Do not let the enemy distract you now. This is your briefing. Now, let us go deeper. I know exactly where you are standing spiritually. Picture this moment. You are sitting in your car in the parking lot. You turned the engine off 10 minutes ago, but you have not opened the door yet. You are just sitting there, gripping the steering wheel, staring through the windshield, but not seeing anything. You do not want to go inside. You do not want to put the mask back on. You do not want to smile and tell everyone you are fine when your spirit is screaming. Because earlier today, you saw something. Maybe it was a notification on your phone. Maybe it was a post on social media. You saw that person. The one who betrayed you. The one who lied about you. The one who cut corners and stepped on people to get to the top. And you saw them celebrating. You saw them getting the promotion, the relationship, the recognition that you have been praying for. And a thought crossed your mind. It is a raw thought. A thought you feel guilty for having. You thought, God, is this a joke? I stayed faithful. I kept my hands clean. I forgave them when they did not deserve it. And I am here, struggling to pay bills, struggling to find peace while they are living their best life. Is this what I get for being a chosen one? That heat you feel in your chest right now, that is not jealousy. Do not let religion tell you that you are just being envious. That is not envy. That is a hunger for justice. Your spirit knows that the laws of the universe are being violated. You know that you are a prince or a princess of the kingdom, yet you feel like a pauper begging for scraps while the thieves sit at the banquet table. The Bible speaks about this exact pain in Psalm 37, verse 7. It says, "Be still before the Lord and wait patiently for Him. Do not fret when people succeed in their ways, when they carry out their wicked schemes. But most people miss the depth of this verse because they only read the English translation. They hear "be still" and they think it means just sit there and do nothing. They think it means passivity. But the Hebrew word used here for still is daman. Daman does not just mean to be quiet. It means to be dumbstruck. It means to be silenced by awe. It means to stop trying to defend yourself because you trust that the judge has already entered the courtroom. When God tells you to daman, He is saying, stop looking at their success. Stop looking at their shortcuts. Their success is like grass that springs up in the morning and withers in the evening. It has no root. But you, chosen one, you are being grown like an oak tree. And oak trees take time. You have been told that this is a test of patience. Your friends tell you to just hang in there. Your family tells you that your time is coming. Even your own heart tries to comfort you by saying that God is just teaching you how to wait. You have convinced yourself that if you can just endure one more month, one more year of this silence, then God will finally move. You look at Job, who waited and lost everything before he got the double portion. You look at David, who was anointed king but had to hide in a cave while Saul sat on the throne. You tell yourself, I am just in my cave season. I just need to be patient. I just need to wait. But what if I told you that you are wrong? What if I told you that this was never a test of patience? What if I told you that patience is actually the trap that has kept you stuck in this cycle for the last 3 years? You think God is testing your clock. He is not. He is testing something far more dangerous. He is testing something that most people sell for a cheap price. And because you do not know what the real test is, you are at risk of failing it right at the finish line. The test you are walking through right now is not a test of patience. It is a test of integrity. And there is a massive difference between the two. Patience is passive. Patience is sitting in a waiting room, reading a magazine, waiting for the doctor to call your name. But integrity is active. Integrity is being handed a key to a door that God did not open, and having the strength to throw that key away, even when you are freezing in the cold. You have convinced yourself that God is simply looking at His watch, waiting for the right time. But He is not looking at His watch. He is looking at your heart. He is watching what you do when the lights are off. He is watching what you type in that search bar when you are lonely. He is watching how you respond to that text message from the person who is not your spouse, but gives you the attention you crave. He is watching how you handle the finances when there is a loophole that no one would ever find. You see, the enemy knows you are tired of waiting, so he will not tempt you with something ugly. He is too smart for that. He will tempt you with a shortcut. He will bring you an Ishmael when you are waiting for an Isaac. He will bring you a business opportunity that looks like the answer to your prayers, but requires you to compromise just a tiny fraction of your values. He will bring you a relationship that feels like a soulmate connection, but it requires you to hide it from the people who hold you accountable. And this is where most people fail. They take the shortcut. They force the door open. They say yes to the good thing and miss the God thing. And because they compromised, they reset the timer. They have to go around the mountain again. But you are still here. You are still struggling. And I am telling you, that struggle is your badge of honor. Let us go to the scripture to understand exactly what is happening to you. Psalm 105, verse 19. It speaks of Joseph. It says, "Until the time that his word came to pass, the word of the Lord tested him." That word tested in English sounds so gentle, like a teacher handing you a paper exam. But the original Hebrew word used there is zaraf. And Zaraf does not mean to take a written exam. Zaraf is a metallurgical term. It means to smelt. It means to refine by fire. It means to heat a metal to such an extreme temperature that it turns into liquid, so that all the impurities, all the dirt, all the debris float to the surface so they can be skimmed off. When gold is being refined, it does not sit comfortably. It is in the fire. It is being agitated. It is being liquefied. This is why you feel like you are falling apart. You are not falling apart. You are being melted down. God is bringing the heat into your life, not to destroy you, but to bring your impurities to the surface. The pride, the reliance on money, the need for people's approval, the hidden addictions, the Zaraf process brings it all up so God can skim it off. Why does he do this? Because he cannot pour the new wine of your destiny into an impure vessel. If he gave you the billions now, if he gave you the platform now, while those impurities are still mixed in with your character, the weight of the blessing would shatter you. The success would intoxicate you. The power would corrupt you. So, he loves you enough to keep you in the fire until the gold is pure. He loves you enough to let you struggle financially, so you learn to trust him as your provider, not your job. He loves you enough to let you be lonely, so you learn that his presence is enough. So today, I am handing you the first framework of your coronation. We call this the Integrity Protocol. This is not a suggestion. This is the code of conduct for kings and queens in waiting. The Integrity Protocol is simple but painful. It demands that you perform the secret no. The secret no is the decision you make when nobody is watching, and nobody will ever know you made it except God. It is when you have the chance to cut a corner, to take a revenge, to indulge in a secret sin, and you say no. Not because you will get caught, but because you are a vessel being prepared for honor. I want you to visualize this right now in your spirit. Think of that one area in your life where you are compromising. Maybe it is a conversation you are keeping alive that you know you should end. Maybe it is a habit you do in secret. Maybe it is a resentment you are nursing against someone who hurt you. In your mind, right now, I want you to see yourself walking into that room. See yourself picking up that phone. See yourself looking at that situation. And I want you to see yourself turning your back on it. Physically visualize yourself walking away. Feel the pain of walking away. It hurts to say no to your flesh. It hurts to deny yourself the comfort of that habit or that person. But as you walk away in your mind, I want you to see a heavy chain falling off your ankles. That is the Integrity Protocol activating. Let me tell you a story about a chosen one who applied this protocol. This is a real person, though I will protect their identity. Let us go back 18 months. This man was drowning in debt. He had lost his job during the layoffs. He had a wife and 2 children, and the savings were gone. He was driving for a delivery service just to put food on the table, and even that was not enough. He was praying every single day for a breakthrough. Then, he got a phone call. It was from an old contact in his industry. This contact offered him a contract, a short-term consulting gig. The money on the table was incredible. It was enough to pay off all his debts in 3 months. It was the answer. It was the lifeboat. But as he looked at the contract, his stomach turned. There was a clause. He had to sign off on some data that he knew was manipulated. It wasn't a huge lie. Just a little adjustment to the numbers to make the project look successful. Nobody would get hurt. Everyone does it. It was industry standard. He sat at his kitchen table at midnight. I want you to see him. The only light comes from the laptop screen. Next to the laptop is a stack of unpaid bills, the electricity disconnect notice, the credit card final warning, and on the screen, the signature line waiting for his name. His hands were shaking. He could literally feel the pen in his hand, even though he just had to click a button. His flesh was screaming, "Sign it, God sent this, don't be stupid, you need to feed your family." But the integrity protocol kicked in. He remembered that he was a chosen one. He remembered that his current situation was a test of Zaraf. He knew that if he signed that lie, he would be planting a seed of corruption in his future harvest. He knew that money obtained by a lie has wings and flies away. So, with tears in his eyes and a trembling hand, he closed the laptop. He sent an email the next morning declining the offer. He gave no specific reason, just said it didn't align. For the next 3 months, things got worse. He missed a mortgage payment. He had to sell his second car. He looked like a fool. He questioned if he had missed God. He questioned if he was being too religious. The enemy whispered to him every day, "You could have been debt-free by now. You are a failure of a provider." But then, the 6-month mark hit. The Zaraf process was complete. His phone rang again. It was a competitor of the company he had turned down. They had heard through channels he didn't even know existed that he was a man of integrity who could not be bought. They were looking for a regional director, someone they could trust with sensitive assets. They didn't just offer him a contract, they offered him a career. The salary was not just enough to pay his debts. It was 10 times what the shady contract had offered. He is now debt-free. He is building generational wealth. But more importantly, he walks with a spiritual authority that makes demons tremble, because he knows, and hell knows, that he cannot be bought. That is what awaits you. But you have to pass the test. You have to say the secret no. You have to endure the fire of Zaraf without jumping out of the furnace. However, I must warn you. There is a cost to this level of integrity. There is a side effect that no one tells you about in Sunday school. When you start living by the integrity protocol, when you start refusing to laugh at the dirty jokes, when you stop gossiping with your co-workers, when you stop partying with your old friends, something happens. The environment around you changes. The people around you change. They start to pull away. They stop inviting you. You become a mirror that reflects their compromise, and they hate you for it. When you keep yourself clean, you will be isolated, and that isolation feels like death. It feels like you are the only person left on earth. You are standing in a crowded room, screaming on the inside, and nobody hears you. That isolation is the next phase of your test. And if you do not understand why it is happening, it will kill your spirit before the crown ever touches your head. That isolation you are feeling right now is terrifying, is it not? It feels like a curse. You have kept your integrity, you have said the secret no, and your reward seems to be an empty phone and a silent house. You are doing the right thing, yet you feel like the most punished person on earth. I want to zoom into a specific moment that I know you have experienced recently. You are at a family gathering, or maybe it is a holiday party at work. The room is loud. There is music playing. People are laughing, clinking glasses, and telling stories. You are physically there. You are sitting in the chair. You are smiling. You are nodding your head. But inside, you feel like an alien who just crash-landed on a different planet. You look around at your cousins, your friends, your co-workers, and you feel a thick, heavy sheet of glass separating you from them. They are talking about the latest celebrity gossip, or complaining about their boss, or planning their next weekend of getting drunk. And you try to join in. You try to lower your frequency to match theirs. You try to force a laugh. But your spirit physically recoils. It makes you nauseous. Then comes the dialogue. You know exactly what they say. They look at you with that confused expression and they say, "You have changed. You used to be fun. Why are you so serious all the time? You think you are better than us, don't you?" And you go home that night feeling drained, heavy, and guilty. You ask God, "What is wrong with me? Why can't I just fit in? Why do I feel so disconnected from the people I am supposed to love?" Here is the twist that changes everything. You are not being rejected. You are being quarantined. There is a massive difference. Rejection is when you are thrown out because you are not good enough. Quarantine is when you are separated because you are carrying something too valuable to be exposed to infection. God has put you in divine quarantine. Why? Because your spiritual DNA is mutating. You are transitioning from a commoner to a ruler. And in this delicate stage of metamorphosis, you cannot afford to be infected by the mindsets, the doubts, and the low-frequency conversations of the people around you. If God allowed you to stay comfortable in that group, you would never leave. You would settle for their ceiling and make it your floor. So, God had to make you uncomfortable. He had to make you feel like a stranger in your own home. He had to make their conversations taste like ash in your mouth. He did not do it to hurt you. He did it to push you out of the nest. He is severing your dependency on people so he can strengthen your dependency on him. This brings us to the second framework of your coronation. We call this the royal vault. You see, a king does not discuss his battle plans with the village idiot. A queen does not share her deepest dreams with the court jester. But you, chosen one, you have a habit of casting your pearls before swine. You get excited about a revelation God gave you, and you run to tell your circle. And what happens? They mock it, they doubt it, they ask you practical questions that deflate your faith. Or worse, they smile to your face and then pray against you behind your back. You need to understand a pattern that runs through the entire Bible. It is the pattern of the wilderness. Every single person God used mightily had to go through a season of extreme isolation before they stepped into authority. Look at the data. It is undeniable. Moses. He was a prince of Egypt, but before he could lead a nation, he had to spend 40 years in the backside of the desert, talking to sheep. 40 years of silence. 40 years of no title. 40 years of isolation. Look at Elijah, the greatest prophet of his time. God did not speak to him in the fire or the earthquake. God spoke to him in the sheer silence of the cave. He had to be separated from the noise of Jezebel and the noise of the false prophets to hear the whisper of strategy. Look at Jesus himself, the Son of God. Even he was not exempt from the pattern. Before he performed a single miracle, before he preached a single sermon, the Spirit drove him into the wilderness for 40 days. He had to be alone with the Father before he could be public with the people. Do you see the equation? Wilderness times, time equals authority. The depth of your isolation determines the height of your elevation. If you can only handle being alone for a weekend, you can only handle a weekend's worth of authority. But if you can stand being alone for a season, misunderstood, judged, and forgotten by men, and still keep your fire burning, then you are ready to carry a mantle that shifts nations. So, the Royal Vault framework is this. Stop leaking your power. Stop looking for validation from people who do not have the capacity to understand your assignment. When God gives you a dream, lock it in the vault. When God gives you a strategy, lock it in the vault. I want you to practice this right now with a mental action. You do not need to move. Just sit where you are. I want you to visualize your soul as a massive, reinforced steel room. In the center of that room is a glowing light. That is your destiny. That is the word God spoke over you. Now, visualize a heavy, thick steel door. On the outside of that door is all the noise, the opinions of your family, the doubts of your friends, the pressure of social media, the misunderstandings. In your mind, I want you to grab the handle of that massive door. It is heavy. It takes strength to move it. Now, pull it shut. Hear the loud, solid clank as it locks. Silence. Inside the vault, it is just you and the light. You and God. The noise is still outside, screaming and banging, but it cannot get in. It cannot touch the light. Feel the peace of that containment. You are not trapped in there. You are guarding the treasure. From this day forward, when you feel that urge to overshare, when you feel that need to explain yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you, I want you to remember the sound of that door locking. Clank. Stay in the vault. Let them think you are arrogant. Let them think you are distant. Let them create whatever narrative they want. You are busy building an empire in the dark that will shock them in the light. When you master the royal vault, you stop bleeding energy. You stop handing your sword to your enemies. You begin to accumulate power. This is why the silence is necessary. It is not empty space. It is a charging station. But I must warn you, you have learned to handle the silence. Good. You have learned to withstand the external pressure. Excellent. But now, as the crown is hovering just inches above your head, a new enemy has entered the room. This enemy is not your family. It is not your boss. It is not the haters on the internet. This enemy is far more dangerous because it has the key to the vault. It is hiding inside the room with you right now. It is a voice that sounds exactly like yours. It is a feeling that masquerades as logic. It is the one thing that can snatch the crown away in the final second. It is not outside of you. It is hiding in your fear. The enemy hiding in your fear is not the fear of failure. That is what you tell your friends. That is what you tell your therapist. You say you are afraid it will not work out. You say you are afraid of hitting another wall, but that is a lie. You have hit walls before. You know how to survive failure. You are an expert at survival. The real fear, the one that wakes you up in a cold sweat, is the fear of success. It is the fear that it actually works. It is the fear that God actually answers the prayer. Because if He answers it, if He hands you the millions, if He gives you the platform, if He sends the spouse, then you have to maintain it, you have to steward it, you have to carry it. And right now, there is a physical sensation in your body that confirms this. I want you to notice your chest area, right in the center of your sternum. Does it feel tight? Does it feel like there is a heavy stone sitting on your lungs? You have been calling this anxiety. You have been calling it depression. You have been praying for God to take this weight off of you. But what if I told you that this heaviness is not a curse? What if I told you that this pressure is the most accurate sign that you are a chosen one on the brink of coronation? We need to go to 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 17, to understand what is happening to your biology. The Apostle Paul writes, "For our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all." I want you to focus on that word, outweighs. Paul is making a contrast. He says, the trouble is light, but the glory is heavy. You see, Paul was a Hebrew scholar. He thought in Hebrew, and the Hebrew word for glory is kavod. We usually think of glory as a bright, shiny light, something fluffy and ethereal like a cloud. But kavod literally means heavy. It means weighty. It implies gravitas and substance. In ancient times, a man's kavod was his wealth, his armor, his livestock, his gold. It was heavy. If you were to carry someone's glory, you would physically struggle under the load. So when God says He is releasing His glory upon your life, He is not saying He is going to shine a flashlight on you. He is saying He is going to drop a massive, heavy weight of responsibility, influence, and resources onto your spirit. That tightness in your chest, that is the kavod landing on you. That is the weight of the crown. You are feeling the pressure because your spiritual neck muscles are not yet used to carrying the weight of royalty. A crown is made of gold and jewels. It is heavy. If you put a crown on a baby, it would crush its neck. You have been running from this feeling. You have been trying to breathe it away. You have been self-sabotaging because part of you wants to stay light. Part of you wants to stay in the background where it is safe and easy. But you cannot be a heavyweight in the spirit and have a lightweight life. So we are going to perform a mental operation right now. We call this the shadow acceptance ritual. We are going to stop fighting the weight and start conditioning your spirit to carry it. I want you to stay exactly where you are. Do not close your eyes if you are driving. But if you are safe, let your focus turn inward. I want you to locate that heavy feeling in your chest or your stomach, the one you have been trying to get rid of. Instead of pushing it away, I want you to lean into it. Imagine that weight is a golden mantle being placed on your shoulders by God Himself. It is heavy because it is real. It is heavy because it is valuable. Now, take a deep breath, but do not try to blow the weight away. Breathe into the weight. Imagine your breath is expanding your capacity to hold it. Say to yourself in your mind, I accept the weight. I accept the responsibility. I am strong enough to carry this. Feel that shift. The anxiety is transforming into authority. The panic is transforming into power. You are no longer a child running from a burden. You are a monarch, adjusting your posture to hold your inheritance. This is the secret that the enemy did not want you to know. He wanted you to think you were having a panic attack so you would quit. But now you know. You are just feeling the heavy presence of God's trust in you. And here is why this matters right now. Because you have accepted the weight. Because you have stopped running from the responsibility. You have just become the most dangerous person to the kingdom of darkness. You are no longer fragile. You are fortified. The enemy knows this. He sees that you are ready to carry the kavod. He sees that his whisper of imposter syndrome did not work. So now he is terrified. He knows he cannot stop you with fear anymore. So he has issued a new command to his agents. He has ordered a full-scale, desperate assault to stop you in the next 40 days. He is not going to use vague threats anymore. He is going to use 7 specific, calculated attacks to try and trip you before you reach the throne. And if you do not know exactly what they look like, you might mistake a trap for a blessing. Now that you have accepted the weight of your glory, the atmosphere around you is shifting. The enemy is no longer trying to discourage you. He is trying to disqualify you. He knows he cannot stop God from sending the blessing, so his only option is to trick you into dropping it before it arrives. For the next 40 days, you are entering a high alert zone. This is not a time to be casual. This is a time to be vigilant. I am going to expose the 7 specific forms of confrontation that the enemy uses against every chosen one right before their coronation. He does not change his playbook because it works, but today we are going to burn his playbook. I want you to visualize yourself standing at the gate of your future. You are wearing armor. You are holding a sword. You are not afraid, but you are watching. You are scanning the horizon because you know something is coming. The first form of confrontation you must recognize is what I call the Ishmael option. This is the relationship trap. The enemy knows you are lonely. He knows you have been in the royal vault, separated from people. So he will not send a demon with horns to attack you. He will send a person who looks like an angel. This attack usually happens within 2 weeks of you deciding to wait on God. Someone will slide into your DMs. Someone will show up at your job. Someone will come back from your past. And the connection will feel electric. It will feel instant. You will say things like, "I have never connected with anyone like this before. It feels like we have known each other for years." The enemy will whisper to you, "See, God is rewarding you. You deserve to be happy. Why wait any longer?" But here is how you recognize the trap. The Ishmael option always rushes. It demands immediate commitment. It pressures you to skip the seasons of getting to know each other. It tries to bypass your discernment with intensity. If God did not speak to you about this person before they showed up, pause. If this person drains your spiritual battery, even though they excite your emotions, pause. If you have to hide parts of this relationship from your mentors or your inner circle, that is not Isaac. That is Ishmael. And if you birth Ishmael, you will delay the promise of Isaac for another 13 years. Do not trade your destiny for a moment of relief. The second form of confrontation is the financial mirage. You have just passed the integrity protocol. You have said no to the shortcuts. You are hurting financially. The enemy sees this vulnerability. So he will send an opportunity that looks like a miracle, but smells like a compromise. It will look like a job offer that pays double, but requires you to work on Sundays or miss your prayer time. It will look like a business deal that needs you to fudge the numbers just a little bit. It will look like a quick investment that promises to solve all your debt overnight. The voice of the enemy will sound very practical. He will say, "You need this money to serve God. God wants you to be wealthy. It is just business. Do not be so spiritual about everything." But the warning sign is in your gut. When you think about accepting it, you lose your peace. You feel a scrambling, a rushing, a fear that if you do not take it now, you will miss out. God's blessing makes rich and adds no sorrow with it. The financial mirage brings money, but it brings sorrow, stress, and compromise attached to the bill. Stand your ground. The real provision is right behind the mirage. The third form of confrontation is perhaps the most subtle. It is the imposter whisper. This attack does not come from outside. It comes from inside your own head. As you get closer to the breakthrough, the enemy will bombard your mind with logical doubts. He will sound like your own voice. He will say, "Who do you think you are? You do not have the degree. You do not have the connections. You come from a broken family. Look at your past sins. You are a fraud. Everyone is going to find out that you are not special." This attack usually hits late at night or right before you have to step out in faith. It is relentless. It brings up receipts from your past that God has already burned. Here is how you win this battle. You do not argue with the whisper. You do not try to prove your worth. You simply agree with the blood. When the whisper says you are unworthy, you say, "You are right. I am unworthy. But the blood of Jesus has made me worthy. I am not standing on my resume. I am standing on His righteousness." When you stop defending yourself and start pointing to the blood, the whisper loses its power. You are not an imposter. You are an heir. These 3 attacks are just the beginning. The enemy will try to use distraction, offense, and even physical exhaustion to wear you down. But now you have the advantage. You know his strategy. When the perfect person shows up too fast, you will say, "I recognize you, Ishmael." When the money looks too good to be true, you will say, "I recognize you, Mirage." When the doubt screams in your ear, you will say, "I recognize you, liar. You are equipped. You are dangerous." But there is one specific trap that is even harder to spot than these. It is a trap that caught a chosen one I know personally, and it almost cost them their entire destiny just days before their breakthrough. You need to hear this story so you do not repeat their mistake. Let me tell you about a woman I counseled recently. She was 34 years old, a devout, chosen one who had been in the waiting season for 7 years. She was lonely. The silence in her house was deafening. And just like you, she was praying for a kingdom spouse. Then, out of nowhere, he appeared. He was everything on her list. He was a leader in the church. He was wealthy. He was charming. He pursued her with an intensity that made her feel seen for the first time in a decade. Her family loved him. Her friends told her that God had finally answered her prayers. They pushed her to rush the wedding. But there was a problem. A small, nagging feeling in the pit of her stomach. Every time she was with him, she felt drained. Every time they talked about the future, she felt a subtle confusion clouding her mind. But she ignored it because she was tired of waiting. She convinced herself she was just being paranoid. Fast forward to a rainy Tuesday afternoon. I want you to see this location. She was sitting in a small coffee shop, staring at a diamond ring on the table. He had just proposed. It was the moment she had dreamed of since she was a little girl. All she had to do was say yes, and her loneliness would be over. The Ishmael option was right there, glittering under the lights. But in that moment, she applied the discernment filter. She stopped looking at the ring and looked at her spirit. She realized that if she put that ring on, she would be marrying a man who loved her image, not her calling. She realized that saying yes to him was saying no to God's best. With shaking hands, she pushed the ring back across the table. She walked out of that coffee shop into the rain, single again, broken-hearted again. Her friends called her crazy. Her family was furious. She went home and cried on her floor for 3 days. But listen to me closely. That was not a breakdown. That was a breakthrough. Because she refused Ishmael, she shifted the timeline. 4 months later, she met the man God had actually prepared. He didn't just fit her list, he fit her destiny. He didn't drain her, he multiplied her. And because she had waited, because she had passed the test of loneliness, she entered into a marriage that is now affecting thousands of lives. If she had taken the bait in the coffee shop, she would be divorced right now, or worse, stuck in a marriage that silenced her voice. She avoided the trap because she trusted her discernment more than her desperation. You are standing in your own version of that coffee shop right now. The enemy is pushing a contract across the table. It might be a relationship. It might be a career move. It looks shiny. It looks like relief. But if you take it, you will miss the inheritance that is coming around the corner. And let us talk about that inheritance. I need you to understand what is actually waiting for you on the other side of these 7 battles. You think God is just going to give you a blessing? No. That is for children. God is preparing to give you a territory. When you pass this final test, the first thing that unlocks is your voice. For years, you have felt like no one hears you. You speak, and it evaporates. But when the coronation happens, God puts a weight of authority on your tongue. When you speak, atmospheres will shift. When you walk into a room, the chaos will settle because you are carrying the peace of a ruler. The second thing that unlocks is kingdom resources. I am not just talking about money to pay your bills. I am talking about the Joseph anointing. God is going to trust you with resources that are meant to sustain others. You are going to be the answer to other people's prayers. You are going to be the chain breaker in your family line. The poverty stops with you. The addiction stops with you. The divorce stops with you. You are the new baseline for your entire bloodline. The third thing that unlocks is divine acceleration. You have lost time. I know. You feel like you are years behind your peers. But Joel 2:25 is not a metaphor. It is a mechanic of the kingdom. God promises to restore the years the locusts have eaten. When this breakthrough hits, you are going to accomplish in 2 years what took other people 20 years. God is going to collapse time for you. This is why the enemy is attacking you so hard. He is not afraid of you having a nice car. He is afraid of you having this level of influence. He is afraid of you becoming a terror to his kingdom. So, look at your life right now. Look at the pain, look at the rejection, look at the delay, and realize that it was all necessary. It was the training ground. It was the boot camp for a general. You are not a victim of your circumstances. You are a master of them. You have the diagnosis. You have the integrity protocol. You have mastered the isolation. You have accepted the shadow. You are armed against the 7 battles. You have seen the proof. Now we have arrived at the final moment. The moment of sealing. In the ancient world, when a king issued a decree, he would pour hot wax onto the scroll and press his signet ring into it. That seal meant the decree was irreversible. It meant the full power of the kingdom was backing that piece of paper. You are that scroll. And God is ready to press his signet ring upon your life. We are about to enter into the activation ceremony. This is not a normal prayer. I am not going to ask God to do things he has already promised. We are going to decree them. We are going to pull them from the eternal realm into your physical reality. I need you to get ready. If you are in a place where you can be still, I want you to posture your spirit. You do not need to stand up physically if you cannot. But I need you to stand up on the inside. Straighten your spiritual spine. Shake off the spirit of heaviness. Wipe the tears from your eyes. We are done crying. It is time to command. Imagine yourself stepping into the throne room. The floor is made of glass. The air is thick with the glory of God. You are not standing there as a beggar. You are standing there as a son. You are standing there as a daughter who has passed the test. Do not be passive in this next moment. The words I am about to speak are keys, but you have to turn them. As I speak them, I need you to agree with them in your heart. I need you to visualize them locking into place. The scroll is open. The witnesses are gathered. Heaven is waiting for your answer. Do not close this video. This is the moment you get sealed. Listen to the sound of my voice. The atmosphere in your room has just changed. Whether you are in a car, in a bedroom, or walking down the street, you have just crossed a threshold. We are no longer discussing the coronation, we are performing it. I want you to visualize something with me. You do not need to move your physical body. Stay safe where you are. But in your spirit, I want you to stand up. Visualize your inner man, your inner woman, rising from the posture of defeat and standing at full height. Shoulders back, head high, eyes focused like flint. You are standing before the council of heaven. Father, in the name of Yeshua, we enter the courts of heaven right now. We bring this chosen one before the throne of grace. We present the evidence of their journey. We present the tears they cried in secret. We present the scars from the knives of betrayal. We present the silence they endured when they wanted to scream. Father, you have seen them. You saw them when they deleted that text message to keep their integrity. You saw them when they walked away from the table because the deal was not clean. You saw them when they blessed their enemies while their own heart was breaking. You are the witness. And today, you are the rewarder. I speak to the spiritual atmosphere surrounding this chosen one right now. I command the portals of the past to close. The season of the wilderness is officially concluded. The lesson has been learned. The test has been passed. I seal the integrity protocol over your spirit. I declare that from this day forward, your character will be heavier than your crown. You will never again compromise your values for a paycheck. You will never again lower your standards for companionship. The days of the secret no have built a foundation of rock under your feet, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. I seal the royal vault over your lips. I declare that you are a keeper of divine mysteries. You will no longer cast your pearls before swine. You will no longer seek validation from people who are committed to misunderstanding you. Your silence is now your weapon. Your discretion is now your shield. Wisdom is setting a guard over your mouth, and you will only speak what heaven authorizes you to speak. I seal the shadow acceptance over your emotions. I bind the spirit of fear and the spirit of imposter syndrome that has been whispering to you at night. I command that voice to be silent. The weight you feel in your chest is not anxiety, it is authority. I declare that your spiritual shoulders are broad enough to carry the glory of God. You will not collapse under the blessing. You will not sabotage the success. You are ready. I bind the spirit of Ishmael from your timeline. I declare that you will not settle for the counterfeit. You will not marry the distraction. You will not sign the contract that looks good but smells like death. I sever every soul tie with people who were sent to delay your destiny. We return them to their sender. We clear the path for Isaac. We clear the path for the kingdom resources that come without sorrow. Now, Father, open the windows of heaven. I declare that within the next 40 days, the Joseph anointing will activate in this chosen one's life. I speak to the dormant seeds of greatness inside of them. Wake up. I speak to the business ideas, the ministry visions, the creative solutions that have been sleeping. Wake up. I declare a divine acceleration over your calendar. I speak Joel chapter 2, verse 25, into your reality. The years that the locust has eaten, the years that the cankerworm has destroyed, the years of delay, the years of stagnation, God is restoring them sevenfold. You will accomplish in the next 6 months what should have taken 6 years. The time has been redeemed. I declare that your name is being spoken in rooms you have not yet entered. God is raising up strangers to bless you. He is turning the hearts of kings to favor you. The promotion is not coming from the east or the west. It is coming from the Lord. Chosen one, the mantle is falling. Can you feel it? It is settling upon you right now. It is the mantle of a ruler. It is the mantle of a lender, not a borrower. It is the mantle of the head, not the tail. But a mantle must be accepted. A crown must be received. I am going to ask you a question, and heaven is recording your answer. Do not say this lightly. This is your covenant moment. Are you ready to leave the comfort of being a victim? Are you ready to accept the responsibility of being a blessing to nations? Are you ready to walk in the integrity, the silence, and the power of a chosen one? If your answer is yes, I want you to say it out loud right now, or scream it in your heart. Say, I receive it. Say it again, I receive it. One more time, with authority. I receive it. It is done. The seal is set. The ink is dry. You are no longer who you used to be 5 minutes ago. You are a threat to darkness. You are a carrier of the glory. Go now. You are dismissed from the testing ground. Walk in your authority. Do not look back at the wilderness. Your future is waiting. In the name of the King of Kings, do not say Amen yet. Just sit in this silence. Let the weight settle. You are chosen. You are loved. You are ready.